This young man by name Paul, popularly known as Jigga, was stabbed to death by his girlfriend on the 23rd of July 2022, 2 days after he shared the story of Ifeoluwa Bamidele, the lady that set her husband on fire in Osogbo, Osun State. And on this story, he captioned it, "If I cheat, leave me abeg is not a do-or-die affair." According to how Paul was described by his friends, Paul was a very nice person and easygoing person, and he made sure that everybody around him was comfortable. He met Favor Oyuhu, a single mother and a student of Aoshi Polytechnic, and they started this affair. Despite the fact that Favor had a child, which Paul was not the biological father, but Paul made sure that Favor was comfortable. He rented Favor an apartment, put Favor in school, and made sure that Favor's needs were met. We can see that from the TikTok videos that they were doing together. But in as much as Paul was trying as much as he could to make Favor comfortable, Favor was never satisfied. Favor was described as an attention seeker. The more Paul tried to please her, the more Favor wanted more. Favor never wanted anybody to talk to Paul, especially female. She wanted Paul just for himself. She never wanted to know if the female were business partners or they were just casual friend or family member. As long as the person is a female, is a no-go area for Favor. At countless times, they have had argument just because she found Paul talking to a lady, and she would just pick up Paul's phone, deleted all female contact from it, and every female conversation on Paul's phone, and Paul will still not say anything. But at the point, Paul was complaining to his friends that he was tired, that Favor was very toxic, that he didn't know what to do to please Favor, that he was trying everything he could do to make sure that Favor was comfortable, but Favor was making his life very, very miserable. At a point, he started having this dream that police busted his house, and his friends also had the same dream that police busted Paul's house. That was when Paul knew maybe he had to quit this relationship. At this period, Favor's character was also strange. She was acting irrational. She became more toxic, more troublesome. And there was a time that she felt that Paul had a lady in his Venza. Favor boarded the next Okada, accosted Paul on the road, and she picked up something and shattered the windshield of Paul's car. Went to Paul's side, dragged him out, and started slapping him like a child. Almost stripped him naked and grabbed him by his manhood. An old man at the scene had to come to Paul's rescue, pacified Favor, and settled their differences, whereby Favor entered Paul's car and they drove off. But did this even please Favor? No, she was always looking for every opportunity to fight Paul. And on the 23rd of July 2022, Favor came to Paul's house just to fight him because she felt Paul cheated on her. When Favor got to Paul's house, they started this hot argument, and at the point, everything became calm, which the neighbors thought everything was okay, that they were having something because they were lovers. But what they didn't know was that Paul was already giving up his last breath. Favor stabbed Paul and made sure that Paul's internal organs were already coming out of him. She cleaned up herself and left the house. But what the neighbor knew that was strange was that normally Paul would have escorted Favor out or as much as dropped her off. But they saw only Favor going out of the house, and they rushed into Paul's apartment just to find Paul in his own pool of blood. They rushed Paul to the hospital where Paul was pronounced dead. And since the death of Paul, Favor Oyuho is nowhere to be found, and the police has launched a manhunt to find Favor to give her own side of the story, what she knew about Paul's death. There is this conversation that is going on that Favor was chatting someone and they were explaining to her that did she know that Paul was dead, and she was saying something like she didn't know. And are we going to say that Favor is doing this just to gain enough ground to abscond so that the arms of the law will not get hold to her, or someone was impersonating Favor just to get information from the person? Now, Paul is dead, Favor is nowhere to be found, and everybody is just confused as at what happened. How can someone be so toxic to the extent you are going to kill your benefactor? someone that helps you in every angle. I said in my last video that don't take decision when you are annoyed, because your moment of anger is a few minutes of madness. If you take decision during this period, you are going to make mistake. If Favor had calmed down and they resolved the issue of infidelity amicably, maybe Paul will still be alive. And the angle I'm looking at this story is this. What kind of a man will you be taking care of a lady, and the lady will meet you, drag you out of your vehicle, slap you like a child, tear your clothes, grab you by your manhood, you're not doing anything, and you are still in that relationship? Are we going to say there is some atom of, black power in this relationship? Because for someone like Paul, that everybody described as a calm person, to have a relationship with someone like Favor, and he was still in the relationship until he gave up his last breath, and we think it's ordinary. Another point is this. What was Paul doing when Favor stabbed him? We can see Favor and Paul. There was no way that Favor could have overpowered Paul to stab Paul, and Paul will not fight for his life or even wrestle himself free from Favor. That means there is something to this relationship that we don't understand. And I keep saying it, that when you are in a relationship with a toxic person, don't stay in a relationship and die. Take a walk. And if you take a walk and you think that the person will come after you, involve the police. They will keep the person in check, or they will get the person where he's supposed to be. Don't stay in a toxic relationship because you want to prove a point. Don't stay in a relationship because you want people to call you a good guy. Paul stayed in this relationship with Favor, and it cost him his life. And they said that severally, Favor had been saying some kind of, some kind of bad words that would suggest that Favor was not a gentle person. She could do what people will hear and marvel. But maybe Paul took it like he was just saying it out of annoyance. Any word that someone keeps saying to you, take note of that. That is what the person is. He's not just saying it to threaten you. He's telling you what he's going to do. If Paul had given a thought to all this comment that Favor was giving to him, he might still be alive today. Please, take a walk and live, and make your friends, families, and well-wishers happy. Subscribe to our page, like our video, comment, and let me know what you think in this story.